Yo, what's good, California Fishing Life fam? Welcome back to another adventure. Today is a little bit more educational. We are going to talk about the 5 things you need to know before going tuna fishing, part 4. So, if you are new here to the California Fishing Life family, hit that subscribe button, be part of the California Fishing Life fam. Let's grow together, learn together, let's fish together. Without further ado, here are the 5 things you need to know before you go tuna fishing. Let's get it. All right. Important tip before you go tuna fishing, number 1, turn the turner. So you will hear many deckhands say this over and over and over. Once you are bit, do not swing because you're not bass fishing. So instead, put your reel into gear and start winding as fast as humanly possible. So what that does is the hook is already at the fish's mouth. And what you're doing when you're swinging is you're essentially pulling the hook right out of the fish's mouth, right? What you want to do is you want to put your reel into gear and start winding, because what that'll do is it'll create tension, and that tension is what will set the hook on your fish. So go ahead and just put that bad boy into gear and just wait until that slack in your line becomes super tight, and you will start hearing your reel peel off. And that's when the fun begins. Which brings us to point number 2, relax and breathe. You have the tuna hooked and it is not going anywhere. Instead of holding your breath, learn to breathe. This will help your muscles out too. It is easy to get caught up in the excitement and hold your breath. I know this from personal experience, and it's easy to get caught up in the moment. So just learn to inhale and exhale, make a conscious effort. It's a long game. You will be fighting this tuna for a long time, especially if it's a big one. And if you're catching it on a single speed reel like me, picture it here. And this brings us to point number 3. This is a little disclaimer because I'll be the first to admit it. I didn't know what I was doing when I first started tuna fishing. And 99% of you all, if you've never been tuna fishing, probably wouldn't know this either. And it's something that I found out sooner than later, thankfully. But point number 3, feel what the tuna is doing and fight it accordingly. Deckhands and captains will say this until they're blue to the face. But if the fish wants to run, let it run. The drag on your reel is set there for a reason. There's no need to put your thumb on the spool because this will cause excess tension and the hook will become dislodged and it'll rip out of the fish's mouth and you'll lose the fish. This is a very painful lesson I learned early on in my tuna fishing career, and hopefully you'll never experience this yourself. But when the tuna stops running, it'll turn its head toward the boat and you'll feel that there's a little bit of slack in your line. What you want to do at that point is reel as fast as you can, because what that does is it creates that tension and it brings the tuna closer to you. So you're essentially reeling that tuna back into the boat. And if you have a bigger tuna, they know what boats look like. They know that when they go to that thing that looks like a box and it has like these propellers on it, they're gonna die. And they don't want to die. That's how they got that big, right? So when you hook onto a giant tuna, every time it gets close to the boat, it'll make another run for it. Just relax, let your drag do its thing, and just let the tuna peel off, and you're going to have to start that fight over and over again. But as with big tuna fishing, it's an endurance game. So make sure that you're just patient. Take your thumb off the spool. Just let the tuna do its thing. If it wants to run, let it run. Keep at it, keep the pressure on the fish, and if you need a break, just hand it off to the deckhand or a family member or a friend and just regain that energy. So with a big tuna, you're looking anywhere between 40 minutes and 2.5 hours plus. This one took me 2.5 hours. There's going to be a story time at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that if you want to hear the story time behind this fish. This brings us to point number 4. Use circle hooks. Not everybody will agree with this point, and that is okay. There are people who are right and people who are wrong. And based on all of the boats that I have been to that do this professionally every single day, everybody will say circle hooks are the way to go. The reason you want to use a circle hook is because it almost guarantees, right? Because nothing in fishing and nothing in life is guaranteed, but it almost guarantees that you will hook the fish in the corner of the mouth 90% of the time, if not more. And the reason you want to hook the fish at the corner of the mouth is because tunas have very sharp teeth and they will bite you off. And I think you will see in this footage tuna biting somebody off right here. And we hooked up at around the same time. So I continued fighting this fish and the person next to me was actually bitten off. Very painful lesson. Talked to that person afterward. They did say that they used J hooks, and I used a J hook also. If you saw my previous bluefin video, this was a J hook as well, but I lucked out because I didn't have any smaller circle hooks. The baits today were super small just because it was an LA/OC boat. And it was something about the bait barge where they just had really, really small sardines. They looked almost the same size as anchovies. Like, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. If I put a sardine and an anchovy side by side, you would not be able to tell the difference. That's how small these baits were that day. So luckily, there was this guy on the boat that had super, super thick J hooks. They looked almost like circle hooks, to be honest. They're just super thick J hooks. And when this tuna bit, it had the perfect hook set right in the corner of the mouth. If you have not seen that tuna video, go watch that video. It's the local bluefin bites are insane video. I show a photo of how I hooked this fish. Pretty intense. All right, last but certainly not least, I did not want to bring this point up, but it is a necessary evil. So sometimes tunas don't want to bite. And the most heartbreaking part is that you'll see foamers, right? Tunas literally jumping out of the water. You'll see breezers. You'll see a bunch of just tuna, and the captain has marked it. Just, you hear the sonars just going crazy, and you're like, dude, there are fish here, right? And you'll drop to whatever the captain says, 150 feet, 200 feet, whatever. You'll throw a bait in the water, fly lining, whatever, and fish just don't want to play that day. And it is well known in the tuna fishing community that sometimes the tunas don't want to cooperate. So you can literally be in the middle of just this chaos, right? Where it looks like the fish are feeding. It really does, because how else would there be foamers there, right? Because it's the tunas that are just jumping out, and then it just creates those bubbles in the water, and you can see that they're actively feeding. But the moment you throw something in with the hook, nothing. And it happens. It's part of tuna fishing, as painful as it is. But yeah, it be like that sometimes. So the 5 things you need to know before you go tuna fishing. Number 1, turn the turner. Number 2, relax and breathe. Number 3, feel what the tuna is doing and fight it accordingly. Number 4, use circle hooks. And number 5, sometimes tunas just don't want to play. And if you enjoyed that, hit that like button, let people know so that they'll be able to enjoy these tuna fishing tips too before they go out into the water. Local bluefin bites still around, still out there. Get out into the water, catch yourselves a tuna. Pretty amazing experience. Once in a lifetime for sure, that are this close to the waters. Like I said in my previous videos, seeing the San Diego fleet come up here is kind of weird. We saw boats that we have been on, and it's just kind of weird that they're in our backyard, but hey, it is what it is, how the tables have turned, right? All right, anyway, if you all have stuck around, the bonus is use the correct gear because you about to see a man who hooked on to, I believe it was an 85 pounder or a 70 pounder, something like that. It was a big fish, all right? And he hooked it on bass gear. Without further ado, check this out.
Oh, yeah. Just line right now. We're backing up on it. We're gaining steady. Charging. He's coming to the boat. As fast as you can, dude. That's how you do it, bro. He's running again. Oh, look at them back there. Fucking going at it. Hell yeah.
I'm gonna need to rotate. I don't care about jackpot.
You want to switch out?
What do you think, Tanner?
It's up to you, dude. Yeah, whenever you're ready. Keep going.
Back
Yeah,
up!
keep backing up.
Oh shit, you're gonna get. Damn, son.
Let's trade. At this point, I don't care about jackpot.
I'm gonna get this real quick. I got you.
Keep going back. I'm just gonna add a little bit of pressure with my thumb. That's
Okay. I've been doing just a touch. You could probably do more. I trust you guys.
I know, I just don't wanna. Keep going back. Yeah, keep backing. What?
Big fish.
Keep going.
Not heavy line.
He's getting tired though.
Huh?
He's getting tired.
I know. That's the only good news. Where is he?
Abandon the rod. Still got quick beats. He felt like he was getting tired though. They still for a second. There we go.
Sorry. when it started taking line and it got to that, I'm going, okay, this is not going to be.
Yeah, that was a nice one.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. Travis was big or small. I think it was big. I'm not certain. What size test?
25.
Well, the problem is I don't have a circle.
No, his was on a J2. It was a small dude.
I think I got a good look set on it though.
We're doing good now. We're all right shape. We're going around right now. Oh, I might have stopped him. There we go. That's a big calico bass there.
The biggest.
definitely wish I was on better gear for that.
You know what? No, it's a sand.
And it's a sand bass.
It's a turtle right here.
I thought it was a granite grouper when I first hooked it.
Ace special. You can probably put that away, or just leave it over
You asked, are you willing to toss it in? I'm going, yep.
Oh. I'm in.
We go back on it one more time and we should be good. He just took a little bit of a run.
25. Big fish. So.
Yeah.
We'll get y'all fishing again here in just a second. We just gotta get a little bit of light on those couple of fish. We got flat fiber on the bigger side. There's been some 100+ pounder fish in there.
Snapped off right there.
The same for anybody else.
I'm not really putting that much pressure though.
Line back on the
Not anymore.
Fight it and then look at these again. Fish over here. Base again here. Then we get this fish in.
Straight up and down.
No, I know. I get what I know exactly what you're trying to do. He's circling. I know that.
All right, quick story time. The reason why the captain backed up the boat and literally stopped fishing for 40 other people is because this was actually one of the first fish that we hooked up for the day. I believe this was like the third or fourth fish, and we did not lose any fish that day. So with tuna fishing, it's really weird because if you lose one fish, that tuna will go and sound the alarm to the other tunas and they'll stop biting. As weird as that sounds, it happens. It's like it breaks off and it goes, hey guys, you know what happened? I ate a fish today and it didn't feel too good. Stop eating fish around this area. And all the tunas will scatter and you will not have another bite. It's the weirdest thing. It happens. If you know why this phenomenon happens, comment down in the section below. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video as much as I did filming it. Until we see each other again, take care of yourselves, take care of others, and as always, stay bent, stay humble.